Good morning, and my name is Brad Dormer. I'm General Manager of the Argentine Slurry Pro production facility. As you've probably picked up, I'm not Argentine, I'm British, hence the lack of hence the accent, or the lack of the accent, depends where you come from. Okay. Before we start, we would like to make it clear, Slurry Pro, as us making the pump, only came about because of customers giving us feedback and asking us to supply a pump like that. So from ground roots, from day one, customer feedback has been very, very important for us. We wouldn't be producing this pump today if it hadn't been for customers saying, please can you supply me this, please can you help us with this. So whether by email or whether on the stand afterwards, or with Darren or one of the guys on the stand, or to myself, any feedback, any comments, it's very, very well received. The Slurry Pro is a Global Pumps brand. It's a bit of a new departure for Global Pumps. We developed it as a response to customer inquiries. We've been supplying the pumps for 8 years now. We've had no comeback, excellent reception from customers. And then last year in 2012, we went from outsourcing a lot of the manufacturing to actually doing it ourselves in-house in South America. And this meant that our lead times, instead of being industry standard 10, 12 weeks, whenever the supplier felt like it, we brought it back to not sooner. Typically, we stock wearing parts here in Australia, and then we build pumps in 2 to 4 weeks. So, I guess the question is, why Argentina? When I give this presentation in the UK, they say, oh, Argentina, you're the guys that beat us at football or soccer or those. Or they say beef and grain, but not pumps. Well, Argentina is a country with enormous natural resources. It's very underdeveloped mining, but there's going to be a boom. At some point, it's inevitable that it will grow. So, and there's a very well developed chain of subcomponent suppliers. So the foundries, the capabilities, the expertise is all there. Some products that might be a surprise. The Volkswagen Amarok is made entirely in Argentina for the world. So it's not just a big farm. There is some manufacturing capability there. The Hilux is made there for the region as well. John Deere make engines. Case New Holland make combine harvesters. So the capacity, the foundry capacity, the engineering capability is there. Now, we don't have our own foundry. We take parts from different foundries, but then as of last year, we brought machining in-house, so we have full quality control over the finished parts. These pumps go pretty big, so a vertical lathe up to 6.5 meters diameter, and then CNC machinery for the smaller parts. Now the Diamond series, I said we've been supplying Slurry Pro for 8 years. This is the new pump. This is a result of feedback over the last 8 years. We say it's not a heavy duty pump, it's super duty. It's one up on what most people would know as a slurry pump. It's oversized shaft, oversized bearings. We've taken the bearing housing, which is sometimes an issue, and redesigned it. Front rear casing is beefed up, so it's that much more robust than the commonly known slurry pump. Certified traceable parts, that's been a big thing for us from day one. We say, okay, we need to be able to trace every part, so from the foundry to the end user. In the event there's an issue, the end user comes back, we say, okay, we can say with certainty, no, it's a process issue, or we can say, yes, we traced it back, batch number 17, part individually identified, we know exactly where we're going. We test all our individual high chrome parts for hardness, so it's no surprise because it is a chemistry. We quality control, but so if there's any issues, we pick it up before it ever goes out the door. And on the Diamond series pump, like the one that's on the stand, flows to 1,000 cubic meters an hour. We give individual part numbers to all our parts, and we try and make them as human as possible. Some pumps, including some of the pumps we sell, have a part number this long and it's impossible to remember. This part number, to make it easy for the guys in the store or the guys installing them, 3 blocks, 630 says an impeller, SP6 tells us the pump size, 331 tells us it's high chrome, so it keeps it simple. So what we talked about, the bearing assembly, we beefed it up, improved the design. Bearings is another discussion altogether, but as a pump manufacturer, all we know is that if you improve the environment the bearings are in, the bearings last longer, work better. So that's what we've focused on here. This beefed up bearing design is a modular design, and it's standard on all the diamond pump sizes. Front and rear casing. This casing is typically 20% heavier than competing pump sizes. We have kept it distance between flanges the same size, so if there's an upgrade needed, you can pull out an old pump, put in a Diamond series, but the casing itself is redesigned and quite a lot more robust. And going back to the technology, everything we've got is 3D SolidWorks. We can stress test, put things together, try new designs completely digitally before we take it to production. So this is some pump factories have carryover of old designs, some old patterns, and then as tolerances change as time goes on, this here is all 3D before we start. So the pump design may be familiar to some of you. Concept of high chrome or rubber wearing parts in grey is what we'd change up. Then the front and rear casing, the pedestal is like a capital investment. It'd be very rare that you'd actually change that. You pull it to bits, change the wearing parts, back together. Now, just a point on the wearing parts, we are very flexible about what they are made of. We are aware that every process is different, and if special alloys are required, we can produce alloys that suit the exact customer's need. Being a small, flexible company, we don't have to produce impellers 100 at a time. We can produce 2 impellers, 10 impellers as a special alloy. And then the Silver Series, this is a pump for people that are happy with the existing technology, happy with what they've got, but they need faster lead times, faster response, better support. This pump we do all the way up to 20 by 18, which is a fairly huge pump, flows up to 8,000 cubic metres an hour, the pressure's to 9 bar. Same for the vertical pump, no seal, hangs off the bearings, flows to 1,000 cubes an hour, pressure to 4 bar. Now the spares for the Silver Series pump are interchangeable with most of the installed pumps. So that means that putting in a Silver Series pump, they can use spares out of the store, or you can buy Silver Series spares to install in existing pump installations. We stock these spares in high chrome. We stock them in Australia and South America. So we try and say standard pump sizes. We try and say 1 week, 2 week delivery. So it's a vast improvement on what's accepted in the industry. 200 years of combined experience. I guess the point here is Global Pumps is not a new player to the mining industry. So we know the rules. We know what the mining industry demands. The mining industry expect. We're not coming in green. So we stock them in South America and Argentina. We stock them in UK, Sheffield. UK is an interesting market. There's not much mining, but they do use an awful lot of slurry pumps for construction industry or sugarcane, sugar beet. So it's an interesting niche market. And then Australia and Adelaide, South Australia. So where do they fit in the Global Pumps range? We say, as a rule of the thumb, you would use these pumps up to 30% concentration in slurry, or for higher flow rates, pressures to 9 bar, and then for higher concentration slurries, we move to peristaltic pumps. So it fits in the range we were covering. We've been doing peristaltic for years, but Slurry Pro gives us a wider range and the higher flows for the lower concentration slurries. So that leads us on quite neatly to Duncan, the peristaltic pump man. Thank you very much.